Week 18 in the 2025 CFL season. 3 games, 3 decisive wins, 2 teams eliminated from playoff contention, and about 120 ways the West playoff seeding could shake out. We'll talk about it coming up next on the Rouge, White, and Blue CFL podcast. Hello and welcome to the Rouge, White, and Blue CFL podcast, a Shotgun Sports Network production. My name's Oz Davis. I'm the co-host of the show. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Joe Pritchard. Joe, how is it going?
Well, I spent a lot of yesterday watching playoff baseball because my Brewers are playing the Chicago Cubs, and being from Wisconsin, when the Wisconsin teams are playing Chicago, that's pretty important. So I had a good time yesterday. Didn't catch as much of the Hamilton-Toronto game as I wanted to, but I mean, priority sometimes, right?
Yeah, and one could say that if you saw about the first, 13 minutes of the Hamilton-Toronto game, the rest of it was a tie game. So it looked at from one perspective, if you're just interested in the outcome, you didn't miss much. That lead was safe. But
one felt fairly predictable, yes.
Yeah, fairly. About as predictable as the Saskatchewan game. But in any case, I was just thinking that it's rare. It's rare that we have a week in which both the Bombers and the Owls are on bye. I was thinking, I don't even know if we've ever run into this situation before. It's felt like
throw in the Packers for me, and if the Brewers weren't playing yesterday, I could have taken a vacation.
Very nice. Right. Okay. Well, like I said at the top of the show, I think that this was 3 pretty much blowouts. These games were decided pretty early. I mean, don't be fooled by Riders 20, Red Blacks 13. It wasn't that close, right? This was a fourth quarter touchdown by Ottawa with, second string quarterback, not necessarily one of your favorite quarterbacks, Dustin Crum in the game. Wow.
I mean, okay, friend of the show, Santino, is pointing out that he seems to be finally coming around to being more of a overall quarterback. So I'll hold my fire this week.
Well, I'm not buying it. I mean, he only shot in the 90s over, I think, maybe 99 yards and a half, slightly under a half. So I'm not buying it yet. But, okay, so I guess the story of this game, or I don't know, not necessarily on the field, but certainly in the locker room, was the Lorenzo Maudlin trade. Yeah. The Lorenzo Maudlin trade. Apparently this happened on Sunday night, perhaps when we were recording the show. Or maybe it was Sunday night, Central Time.
Yeah, afterwards. Yep.
So after we recorded this show. But so here you have the former defensive MOP, really one of the Red Blacks' better players this season. Traded for a 4th-round pick, which isn't as bad as it sounds if you're an NFL fan. That's still like a top 35 pick, more than likely. So it's not that bad of a pick, but still, I mean, this felt like the players have gotten the message that the season's over. This is one of those
basically it is. Mm-hmm. And they're acknowledging that. And Malden's contract is coming up. He's 33. And Calgary had a need. right? Calgary hasn't been putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks lately, which is what made their defense per early in the season. That now later on, it's not happening. They're trying to find that fire. Like this trade actually makes perfect sense if you think about it. So,
Well, yes, but it's the primary reason why Ottawa got so smoked in this game, I think, psychologically speaking. And it's RIP on another season in Ottawa. And I gotta wonder, Joe. Let me ask you. I mean, do you do you think the Red Blacks will ever break out of this funk that they've basically been in since Henry Burris left? I mean, is
not
anything
until
going
their
to get them out of
not
this?
until their ownership cares more about the product on the field.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So you're putting it all on
I'm
ownership.
not putting it on ownership, but at the same time, there's the emphasis is clearly shifted from football to other things. Again, bringing up Santino over at Three Down, friend of the show.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that's going to have more answers on that than I will. But
Mm-hmm.
everybody I talk to on the Ottawa side just thinks there's not an emphasis being placed on football operations
Mm-hmm.
there, opposed to they're also working real estate deals. They're also working on the stadium deals. They're also working on a lot of other things. So it's easy to just let the football thing go on autopilot and, oh, bad season, we'll try again. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the fans are starting to understand that. The fans are starting to realize that it's not going to get better anytime soon, and they are reacting with their wallets. So, the only
Yeah.
thing is that get attention, or if we're going to have another franchise in trouble sometime soon.
Mm-hmm. I was like doing notes for this during the game, and I actually referred to them once as the Renegades. I don't know if we're quite at that level yet, but Jesus. I mean, they had some good seasons. They had some like miracle.
I mean, if you think back into Ottawa football history from 81 to 1996, they had a lot of stretches where it was just stay the course, be awful, and just keep going. There's a few times that people with money would come in, try something, didn't work
Right.
immediately, they'd go away.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of ownership issues too, which made focusing on football not as big of a thing as they could be. They clearly didn't have as much money as the other teams, that kind of thing. But the fans were very loyal for a long time, and it finally like dawns on the fans that it's not going to get any better. And then that's when everything started to slip away for them. I'm not saying we're there, but I mean, think about it. It's been like 7 years since they've had a team that could even be considered a contender. And when was the last time they had a winning record? Was that
That's what I was just going to say.
2015?
That's just what I was going to say. I mean, literally, you're looking for some season where they started 2-1, 2-0, something like this. Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, they did win that Grey Cup in 16, where the East was just awful, and they won at 8-9-1. They were 8-9-1 a couple other times. They always tie. They went for years and years and years tying Calgary. It felt like every year they played. So
right.
just
It was always Calgary would start the season like 1-1-1 or 2-1-1,
and they'd tie either in Ottawa or in Calgary, and
right. Exactly. What happened to that? Why
nope.
can't
The only other they've had 2 winning seasons in their entire history. 2015 and regular season, clearly 2015 and 2018. 16 and 17, they were 8-9-1 in rougher Eastern situations. Got a Grey Cup out of it. I mean, they pulled the Toronto plan there. And the last year was the 3rd winning season of all time. I'm sorry, 3 winning seasons in 11 years. I think 10 seat COVID. Yep, that's 11. Yeah, 3 out of 11. This year's clearly not going to be a thing either. What do they have to hope for? I mean, the only season they have been at over 4 wins since 2018 was last year, and that was a hot start, and then they regressed.
Yep. Yep.
They could add another 4-14 season on there. It's on the table.
Hmm. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose out. They got Montreal twice. Montreal might
Yeah.
still be alive for first
And
place.
where are they? They're probably gonna make wholesale changes now. I mean, why wouldn't you? Unless you're really on autopilot. And then what message are you sending to your fans? You're not gonna have a franchise quarterback because Drew Brown clearly ain't it. Like, what do you have going for you right now?
Hmm. Hmm. You better have a miracle draft, basically. You better find some Canadian superstars, basically.
Or
That
hit
nobody
the
knows
right American free agent quarterback, right? And good luck
about.
with that because
Sanders.
they always take 2 or 3 years to develop up here.
Yeah. 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 Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, nah, Shadur's ready to take over. Unfortunately, Toronto owns his rights. In any case, I could just see him trading a draft
I mean,
pick.
maybe Nick Arbuckle's available if Chad Kelly comes back next year because he's not coming back this year. Who knows?
Oh, wow. Nick Arbuckle. All right, let's talk about Nick
He's
Arbuckle.
been fine. He's been fine.
Or his Argos. Wow. Yeah. But,
The Argos have been fine, but it's not because Nick Arbuckle's bad, right?
well, okay. When he was on his run of 6 games for 300 yards, they were what, 4-2, 5-1 during that stretch. Okay, that was the
Uh-huh.
best they were this year. That was the best they were this year when he was firing. But you know, in this game, there was enough in the first quarter to do them in. I mean, they start off 17-0. The Ticats do in the 47-29 win. They start 17-0 in the first quarter. After that, it's a 30-29 game. You know, that alone, surprise, surprise, would have been enough to beat the over in this game. But this is the Ticats and the Argos. They give up points in bunches like this. They score points in bunches. The Argos are capable of it. But they're just going to give up too many points. You know, at least they didn't roll over like the Red Blacks did even before the game. I mean, again, they put up 29 points after digging themselves a hole. But you know, you got to be disappointed in the defense just allowing Hamilton to roll over and over and over again. I mean, they were in the red zone all game. You know, Hamilton dominated these guys. And now Toronto Argonauts season is over as well. Defending champion Toronto Argonauts. We will have a new champion. No 9-9 for them. What was the problem for the Argos this season? You're unwilling to blame Nick Arbuckle. What, cohesion?
I'm not blaming him entirely. I mean, clearly he had an okay season. I'd say he played well enough for a team to finish around 500 and make the playoffs.
Okay.
No defense. 512 points given up, and we have 2 games to go. Like, that's just not good. They've scored 465, which is, what, third?
Uh-huh.
And I know some of that's going to be garbage time. Some of that's going to be when the defenses play off. They're going to score, you know, even if you put 7, you know, if that happens 5-6 times a season, that's like 35 points, right? That they might have been gifted because defenses are trying not to give up the big play, right? Even then, they're third, right?
Right.
Like, they had a decent offense. They did a good job there. That offense should have gotten them to the playoffs. The defense didn't help them at all.
It didn't help them at all. They're giving up 32 points a game. Okay. That's more than BC is scoring on this run lately. That's more than Hamilton is scoring by 4. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of points. You play the Argonauts, you suddenly become the BC Lions. You know, I mean, it's nuts. Your quarterback suddenly becomes Bo Levi-Mitchell.
Or Nathan Rourke.
Right. It's like, wow. Boy, that defense really killed them. But again, they got picked apart. I said this, I remember going back to the beginning of the season. I said this. I was like, their defense got picked apart. They lost something like 6-7 starters off this defense.
I had too much faith in their coaching staff to put it together because the coaching staff had been underrated for a few years, right? So I overrated them this year. What can I do?
You're just going with the flow.
Yeah,
No, I mean, the coachings in theory, look, it's a long season. It's a long season. And at one point it was working for them.
yeah.
I mean, look, Hamilton's been giving up a lot of points this year too. They're about to, well, they're about to. They could sew it up next week, the Eastern half, you know, and yet they give up a lot of points, so,
They do,
I
but
don't know.
not exponentially. And yeah,
It's-
and they had that one, and Hamilton had that last week. Just had the no-show game, right?
Mhm,
Where
mhm.
they should have,
Oh, yeah.
it was
Oh, Jesus.
40-3, but it didn't feel like it should have been 40-3, right?
Oh, God. No, that was one of those. Yeah, that was one of those old school, like
I think that
66.
game felt more like 38-21 or something, right? Like they
Hmm.
just left so many opportunities to go begging.
Well, yeah, yeah. It's more like it felt more like 40 to 24, 27.
Yeah, it
But
was. Yeah,
and
except
that's
that
Hamilton
every
defense.
time, yeah, and that it was just like every time they had an opportunity to get back in the game or put points up, they'd leave it in the red zone, and that was that.
Mhm. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, as soon as when you saw, I mean, okay, I will say the 3 points from the offense last week was a fluke. Okay,
Yeah,
but
totally.
when you see, Zach Caleros just throwing it around like that, you knew they were going to win. As long as he's completing it, because if you can throw the long ball against Hamilton, you can win. You can win.
Yep.
You can win. So, you can certainly score a lot of points, like
Yeah,
against.
and as long as the long ball is a reasonably distanced long ball and not, hey, I've got to streak up the side. I'm going to see if I can outpace my receiver with a pass. Zach's going to hit that every time, right?
Right. Exactly. Um, so real quick, Joe, did you have O'Leary Orange on your fantasy
No,
team?
no. I didn't
Wow.
make the playoffs. I didn't even pick this week. So,
Oh, the playoffs are this week,
yeah,
and you're not in?
I was 9 and I needed to be 8. So
Oh,
these things happen.
oh,
A 9-8
unfortunate.
season, can't complain too much.
Unfortunate. 9-8,
And
yeah, and you didn't
and I
make the
was and
playoffs.
I was very BC. I was either killing somebody or I was getting killed. There was really like no in between.
Right, right, right. Um, Yeah, I just wanted to say O'Leary Orange, wow, amazing stats. 111 yards and a touchdown on 2 catches. Fantastic, fantastic. I was just feeling maybe we should, I'm going to talk about this now. I was feeling that here are the Ticats. They're one win away from getting the number 1 seed in the East, making that official. And I was just feeling like, okay, we've seen this recently in the CFL. Their key opponent coming down the stretch here might be complacency. Right? Week 20 bye, week 21 versus Ottawa. I'll be surprised if Ottawa shows up. Week 22, first round of the playoffs, possible bye. And then week 23 at home versus number 2 in the East. Yeah, okay, so that's going to be Montreal or the crossover team. Do you really want this schedule right now? I think
No,
the Ticats would be better
no.
off
So
losing this.
so here, this has been like the closest to the middle I've ever seen a group of CFL teams, right?
Yep.
Or at
Yep.
least for a very long time. There's two teams that are bad,
Mhm.
and one bad team that has, Toronto's a bad team that has some redeeming qualities, but not enough.
But they were bad.
Edmonton is, if Edmonton could have gotten rid of their first month, they would be right in the pack with everybody else.
Yep.
They're not bad, they're not good, but they're kind of there, right?
Mhm.
Everybody else is in the mushy middle. I mean, Saskatchewan's got the best record out of everybody. They might
The
be a
Riders
half
are going
a
to go
step ahead
12
of,
and 6. The Riders are
right.
going to go 12 and 6.
They could be a half a step in front of everybody, right?
Right.
In this whole group, but there's no great team in here.
Nope.
So I almost wonder if hosting that East final is hosting the East final hasn't been a great thing to have anyway lately, right?
No, it's who gets hot at the end.
It's going to be a toss up all playoffs. Like the only thing I could see not being a toss up is if Calgary craters and still makes it. And they're on the way to doing that. Right?
It. Okay.
They could still make it.
Right.
Like they have week 21 could be a playoff game between Calgary and Edmonton, right?
Yep.
Could be a playoff game for the crossover.
I would not be surprised. I mean, Calgary gets Hamilton.
Calgary's had a lot of struggles lately. They still have talent. It's just they aren't as cohesive as they've been. Vernon hasn't been the same lately, dealing with the injuries he's had. It's been hard for them. Like, if you're Montreal, aren't you pretty happy right now? You've got your quarterback.
Oh my God, yes.
You've got likely a decently weak crossover opponent unless something really weird happens. Mm-hmm. Then you've got at Hamilton for all the marbles in the East. Like, are you complaining right now?
I don't like the prospect of facing Winnipeg in the first round.
But that's about it, right? It's probably BC and Winnipeg are going to finish 2-3, I think. Unless Zach gets hurt again. If Zach gets hurt again, Winnipeg is among the bad teams in the league. It's just the way it is.
Well, yeah, but imagine this scenario. Imagine, Edmonton sneaks into that 4 and we get Cody Fajardo.
You could. That would be, honestly.
At Montreal. Yeah.
Honestly, unless something really weird happens in the next 3 weeks, that's the opponent you should fear. You should hope Calgary wins one more.
Yes. Oh, I want them to win this week. I don't think they're going to, but I want them to.
Yeah, you should hope Calgary wins just enough to get in that 4th spot because they're out of the 3 contenders out west and quarterback health pending, of course, because that's the way it's been all season. I would say Calgary is your best option.
Oh yeah. I'd much rather have Calgary and Vernon Adams.
Yeah, you don't want BC to slide and get Nathan Rourke on the road in the playoffs, right?
No,
because he could just light you up. If he has one of those days where he lights you up, good luck.
Yeah.
You don't want Winnipeg if they're the team that they can be.
No.
They've been injury ravaged this year.
Okay.
They seem to be getting it together late. They have a shot, right? You don't want to face them in the first round either, right? Mm-hmm. BC Winnipeg in the West semi could be a banger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That'll be fun. There'll be a lot of points in that game. I mean, that game might be a coin flip, but I'll tell you, that's got to be the over. I'll take the over in that game. Whatever.
The only thing I would say is if it ends up in Winnipeg, because Winnipeg does have the tie break, they are sitting in 4th right now, but if they catch BC, they have the tiebreaker and they have a game in hand, so it's in play. BC on the road in Winnipeg in the playoffs hasn't been a recipe for success for them. Things might have changed. You could just have one of those games where BC just doesn't figure it out.
Uh-huh. Oh, sure. Well, I mean, Montreal defense is good. BC is averaging, 32 points. Oh, wait, actually, I have this here. Oh, okay. So after the first 5 games, in which they only went over 27 points once in the opener against Edmonton, right? After that, they haven't missed. All right, they've been 28 points or more in every single game, right? Since then, they're averaging 30 points per game in just that last 13 games in that stretch. Okay, I don't think that Montreal is going to give up 30 points against BC. Not right now. I mean,
I don't think you have to worry about.
They're doing the thing where they're treating Sean Lemon like Tim Duncan. They're giving guys a week off. They're time sharing these guys. Our defense is going to be fresh going into the playoffs. We'll be fine. We'll be fine on that score. We'll have enough to tamp down BC. The thing about Davis Alexander is he's an awesome quarterback. He's got all the skills, but he's not a stud. He's not going to fling it on you. He's not going to be throwing the ball around the park. He's not. I don't know. Maybe that comes from smarts, but he's not going to do that to you. Now, on the other hand, BC defense will give up points in any fashion.
Yeah, and they like to play off, so you can get them underneath and sustain drives and keep Nathan Rourke on the bench.
Sure. So that matchup, I don't fear too much. I think the best bet. Well, I think, again, what we're cheering for is Calgary in fourth, and I can imagine that. Right now, I mean, Calgary, we thought we were one of the best defenses one of the best defenses in the league, but here they are giving up 38 points. They haven't looked good lately. In the last 6 games, this past game, Vernon went for 300 and some odd, maybe 300 exactly. But until this game, he hadn't gone for more than 230 yards passing in 6 games. Okay, they're 2-4 in that stretch, and they're on this 0-4 run. On the other hand, Hamilton gives up a lot of points in the air, and Adams will have to throw often. So I don't know. I guess they could win next week, but they're certainly not looking awesome going into the playoffs. Okay.
And I mean, really, we recapped Calgary BC without recapping Calgary BC because, like, what
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I have. Those are my notes. Those are my notes because BC demonstrated what they have been in the last 13 games. So the last 2/3 of the season. This is what they've demonstrated. They can score a lot of points, and the defense is going to give up a lot of points. But they can play with anybody. They'll run up the score on anybody, just about. I'm hoping that Montreal will hold them, but they're not going to see BC. Not until the Grey Cup. This week, that's what I'll pick for the Grey Cup. Okay, so playoff scenarios. The official ones aren't out yet, but I think I've got it. I've got the playoff scenarios. Okay. All right. So first, Edmonton loses, they're out. Okay. Edmonton, and who did they get? They get Saskatchewan. No, they get Winnipeg.
No, they get Winnipeg.
Oh boy. So when Edmonton loses, they'll be out.
But I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong on that.
Okay.
It's because Edmonton will be 6-10. Calgary's got 8 wins.
Yep.
If Calgary loses out and Edmonton wins every game but that, guess what week 21 is?
Okay.
Calgary at Edmonton for a playoff spot.
Okay, so Edmonton is not eliminated.
No. I mean, at that point, they're on very thin ice. Well, they could be eliminated if Calgary has beaten Hamilton earlier that day, right?
Right.
So Calgary plays before Edmonton. So Edmonton needs a Calgary win and Edmonton loss to be out.
Okay.
Because at that point, then they can't catch Calgary.
Okay, so let me adjust my notes here. So Edmonton loses and Calgary wins. Edmonton's out.
Right. And if Edmonton loses, if Edmonton loses, they can't catch Winnipeg or BC, no matter what.
Right. And
so Calgary win in Hamilton and an Edmonton loss means Edmonton's done.
Mm-hmm. BC's already in.
BC is officially in.
Yep. Okay. All right. So Saskatchewan wins and they clinch first place, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they'll be at 12 and nobody else can be at 12.
Right. And if Hamilton wins, they finish first, I believe, because they have the tiebreaker with Montreal.
If that is the case, then yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. All right. Anything else? Because like I said, and like we've been playing with, like I said at the top of this show, it feels like there's about 120 ways the West could still turn out.
Oh yeah, we could spend all day sitting here going, if this happens and that happens, I want a
Right.
playoff machine where I can push all the buttons, right?
Okay.
But
So let's do this. Let's do the pick 'em and
mhm.
see how that affects the outcomes. Okay. Let's see how that affects the playoff picture. Okay.
Okay.
So we start with Toronto versus Saskatchewan. I think this is an easy one. I think Toronto knows the season is over. I think
And
the Riders.
Saskatchewan can win and then take a nap for the next 2 weeks, right?
Yep. Right. Which they might not want to do.
Or they
Yeah.
might not want to, especially given week 20 is Winnipeg and week 21 is BC.
Right.
And Corey Mace may want to still instill, hey, this is what it's like to win. Let's go get it. And we'll take our bye in the first round.
Right. Remember, I mean, yeah, it's like Memento, right? Remember the 2023 Toronto Argonauts, the machine that took too many weeks off at the end of the season. And, again, this is what I'm hoping for Hamilton. Because okay, so Saskatchewan probably wins here, right, Joe? You'll take Saskatchewan.
I no doubter. If Toronto gets them, it's something weird happened.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do you think Toronto will show up? I mean, they'll play ball, right? They'll
They'll play ball. They might even cover.
okay.
But
Okay.
Saskatchewan's got things to play for. Toronto doesn't. So
Okay.
I don't see it.
Okay.
Not this
All
year.
right. So here we go. Here's really the key game. All right. This is really gonna, make some difference in the playoff picture. All right. So we have Calgary versus Hamilton. All right. So Calgary has beaten Hamilton this season. Opening day, 38-26, when Calgary.
And that was a stunner when it happened, yes.
Right. Now, that was the most points Calgary has scored this season, except for a certain game in week 7. Joe, should I talk about that?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. So after that win, way back then, feels like ancient history now. Calgary is 5-1. And looking pretty good behind Saskatchewan, which was 6-0 at that point, right? So Calgary looked pretty good at that point, but wow, you got to think that the Stamps are meeting Hamilton in the wrong week here. I mean,
wrong week because Hamilton still has the division to play for.
Yep.
Now Calgary's got their playoff lives to play for, not like still in theory, but they don't want to drop this one because next week they might be able to push it a little bit closer to winning it because they're hosting Toronto. But don't go that far. Get it clinched now if you can, right?
Yes. But I mean, if you're taking Saskatchewan in the first game,
I'm taking Hamilton too.
You got to take Hamilton in the second game for this season.
Less sure about it than the other one, but
yeah.
I think Hamilton's going to push through. They'll get the job done, and then they'll be able to make their choices as far as rest goes over the next couple of weeks.
Yes,
too, right?
Yes, but the thing is, Bo has been in this position many, many times. Not recently, but how many times has Calgary had Calgary locked up the West when Bo was their quarterback with 3 weeks to go? I mean, how often?
So Hamilton has a bye in week 20, and then they get Ottawa in week 21. I could see the starters playing half in week 21, right?
If they're smart.
I see no reason why they're not smart. I feel like they're a lot better run this year.
Oh yes. Yes. Hamilton has mostly had it all come together this season in all areas. Again, they got the week 20 bye.
And I just wish
Sorry?
Yeah. And I wish Ted Gavaya was here to see it because he deserves to see his team win. But that's why we do the CFL Fans Fight Cancer, right?
Good point. All right. So I'm going Hamilton. You're going Hamilton. All right. So pencil in Hamilton. Okay. Now here's a big question. Here's Winnipeg versus Edmonton. Winnipeg smoked Edmonton in week 4, 36-23. Yeah.
And that game was closer than the score said.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, no. Edmonton played ball. It got a little bit out of hand there in the fourth quarter. This kind of we didn't know it at the time, but this was kind of setting the tone for Edmonton this season, not closing out these games properly.
Well, they kept dropping touchdown passes or
Hmm.
plays that were going to be big ones. So
Hmm.
one of those days where you couldn't blame Trey Ford. Trey Ford played great, and then he had the one stinker, and then they were like, "Oh, we're going to have the franchise go another way." Okay,
Yeah.
you were going to do that anyway, so you were just waiting for that clunker. Good on you. You made your choice. Let's go. It'll
Well,
be interesting to see where Trey is next year. That's all I'm saying.
Ottawa.
Anywhere. Well,
Yeah.
think of the wild card here is the coach when he had the most success in the league. Jarius Jackson is the quarterback coach in Winnipeg.
Mhm.
Winnipeg needs to work on a quarterback succession plan.
Yeah.
If he ends up in Winnipeg, Jarius liked what he saw. If he doesn't, I'm going to guess not, and he may not have a long career in the league at this point.
Of course, they could just wait another year or two for Edmonton to lose confidence in Cody Fajardo,
Like everybody else does, yeah.
right? For some inexplicable reason. Um, okay, so Edmonton is playing for their lives, and Winnipeg is having one of those seasons that you love, Joe. Okay, so here's the season
God
so
only knows, like,
here's the
what you're
season
going to
so
see
far.
any given week.
Okay, there we go. Ready? Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But here's the way they've gone: win 3, lose 3; win 1, lose 1; win 2, lose 3; win 2. Okay, and last week was the monster 40-3 win. So, what are you going to do here, Joe? You're going to fade them, or are you going to
No,
ride them? They
no.
win.
The only team Winnipeg truly struggled against
Mhm,
when Zach was healthy.
mhm.
There are two teams: Calgary when they were hot, and
Right,
Saskatchewan because Saskatchewan, right? They've
right.
been the best team in the league. They're a half step above everybody else.
Mhm, mhm.
Nobody else, as long as Zach's been healthy, Zach's been killing everybody else, and Zach is healthy right now.
Okay.
I feel
Oh yeah.
confident. If Zach is not healthy, I feel absolute dread because we've seen that we're past the best by date on Chris Streveler being able to be the change up backup that nobody can plan for. Everybody knows his game by now. He's had too much exposure this year. He's not going to shock you. He's not going to make you change your defensive plans and overcommit or what have you. Everybody knows what he can do now, and it's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
So Winnipeg goes as far as Zach Claros goes.
Mhm.
That's it. That's all. They have a good team, not as good of a team as they've had in the past, granted. But they still have a good team behind him. If Zach is healthy, this is a 12-6 caliber team. If Zach is not healthy, this is a 4-14 team. That's all
Well,
there is to it at this point.
what are they without Zach starting?
Gosh, I haven't even done the math. Like Strevler's actually gotten a win or two as the
Yeah.
starter,
Yes.
but we're not even. But do we even count the Ottawa one? Like we had a running back playing quarterback that day. Did we even count that one? Week 1 they won 2 when Zach was suspended. Or week 2, and that was just BC not being together yet. BC
Okay.
took a while to get together,
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
so he's had a couple of wins. But again, like he's not going to fool anybody at this point.
Mhm. All right. So at 4. So right now they are 8-7.
Yep.
Winnipeg is 8-7 right now. Okay. So I believe that if you count all the games in which he played a major part, that Strevler is 2-3.
Yeah, because
So
he
that would
played
make
most of the Toronto loss at
right,
BMO in that rain game.
right. But then week 1 he won,
Yeah.
and then won against Ottawa. Okay, so maybe 3-2. Wow, is that possible? So I mean, Zach is a 500 quarterback this year, technically. But
And
coming
only
off,
Calgary and Saskatchewan. And I mean, Calgary was hot when that happened and knocked him out of one of those games too, at least.
Mhm.
Yeah, like those are the only game he played poorly, like poorly, and just was terrible. Was the first Calgary game, and that caught everybody by surprise. And they were rolling until Damon Webb decided to ruin everything. And then after that, it just spiraled, right?
Mhm.
He got
Mhm.
knocked out of Banjo Bowl. That was a game until that happened.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
he's been knocked out of 2 or 3 games this year too. So
Yeah, that's the thing. That's
that's
what
it.
worries
You
me.
you keep him standing up, and you got a chance. You don't, and
Right.
it's over.
Yeah, but see, that's what worries me. You're saying, okay, Winnipeg versus Edmonton. As long as I know Caleros is healthy, great, I'm good. But does he stay that way the whole game? That's the thing. I mean,
That's
you
it.
can't
That's the
plan for
question.
injuries. You can't
Nope.
bet based on injuries. You can't coach based on injuries. But Jesus, this year the line has not been good at Winnipeg. There's been a couple of games where that line has just been tormented by pass rushes. So, but I don't think Edmonton's going to bring the pass rush. Of course, Edmonton famously generates the fewest turnovers in the CFL. Winnipeg has had lots of problems with turnovers. They were second in turnover differential
Mhm.
in the league going into that 40-3 game. I don't know where they stand right now, but that might have been enough to
And
keep
I'm
them.
fully cognizant that keeping Zach upright for the next 6 weeks is a dicey proposition at best. But
Oh,
until he goes down, I'll believe they have a shot.
I don't think Winnipeg's in the Grey Cup this year.
And they might just get beat.
Yeah.
Like BC might just outscore them in the West
Oh, yeah.
semi, or Saskatchewan's just that put together and they make one more play. That could happen too.
But Joe,
But as long as
I,
Zach's there, I think Winnipeg's in the game. If he's not, God help us all. It's over in the playoffs if he's not standing out.
God help us all in Winnipeg land. Um,
Well, that's the important people. Those are the important people, right?
but oh, gauntlet thrown.
I kid.
Ooh.
Mostly.
But Joe, we got to take these games one at a time. We're on to
Yep.
Edmonton.
I mean, right
So,
now, Zach is standing up, so I'm picking
okay.
Winnipeg.
So I got Winnipeg. Yeah. All right. I would like to be contrarian, but I'm not going to be a phony here. I would never bet on Edmonton in this game, so I'll take Winnipeg as well. Ottawa versus Montreal. Well, again, this is an easy one. I think that Montreal is still, they're going to get their reps in, even if Hamilton, I mean, they're basically locked into number 2.
Yeah, and
I
Davis
mean,
needs some reps. So I was thinking, do they sit a bunch of guys? No, they don't.
no,
Davis
I
is
think
going to
they
play
keep,
as long as because he hasn't even started a full CFL season yet.
yep,
Like he started half a CFL season, so you get him as many reps as you
yep,
can right now, right?
yep, you got to do this. This is how Toronto played Nick Arbuckle last season, right? You start him towards the end of the season, you got to keep him in. You got to keep him in these games. So, yeah, I think they'll get reps. They'll probably sit some of the guys on the defense, but this defense is so star-studded that we don't need to start everybody. So, we can sit some of our guys. This is Ottawa. I don't believe that if Ottawa wasn't even mentally there last week, I don't think they're going to be there this week. I think that if you let Montreal get off to a 14-0 lead, it's game over, which Ottawa probably do because they just doesn't matter who their starting quarterback is. They don't get things started in the first quarter, the first half. So I think this one's an easy pick. I've got Montreal.
Me too.
Okay,
This week feels so too simple, so this is going to be absolute utter chaos.
Oh, come on now. No, the only
Chaos.
the only game that okay, Calgary Hamilton could go either way. And I
Winnipeg
mean,
Edmonton could go either way.
yeah, Edmonton has a Edmonton. Edmonton has a fighter's chance. They have a puncher's chance. Sure. Sure. I mean, this is the CFL. Everything is tending towards
It is.
500. Okay.
Right
Everything's
now, the
tending
game I
towards
feel least confident about is Winnipeg at Edmonton.
yes.
So.
Yes. 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 Because I do think Hamilton is not going to mess around. I do think Hamilton's going to shut it down. Like you said, Hamilton is well run. Like we've seen, this offense is awesome most of the time. Last week, notwithstanding. I think they'll want to bounce back from last week as well. So I'm not too worried about that one. Winnipeg, Edmonton is the sketchy one. That's the one I would coin flip on. Maybe. But I'll take Winnipeg regardless. If things tend towards 500 though, Edmonton wins this game. Edmonton wins this game.
Yep.
If everybody's
And
and then,
we could just, you know what? It could just be one of those weeks where common knowledge and common sense takes a back seat, and like Toronto puts up 50 against Saskatchewan for some dumb reason, and Calgary finds it, and Edmonton makes the big play at the end that they haven't been making for like the last 10 years, and Ottawa decides to play Dustin Crum, and Dustin Crum just can't be contained, and
by the Montreal defense,
because in Montreal has a shot at everything, and just like all of a sudden they don't know which foot to put in front of the other foot. All of a sudden, I mean, right. this feels like a 4-0 week for us. Like with these picks, they feel automatic almost, like a 4-0, 3-1. Right. These are the weeks that get really screwy. So.
See, and last week was really predictable too. I mean, last week was about the easiest.
We're due for just utter chaos.
Right. For just utter chaos? I don't know about that, but I mean, because again, I can't. Well, I could imagine Saskatchewan losing. Not that they're not occasionally prone to dumb football, but yeah, okay. All right, so maybe you're right, but in no universe do I accept Montreal losing.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, there. Really, it's going to be hard to talk me off of any of the picks we've made, right?
Yeah. Well,
like it's going to be hard to do. Yeah, it's going to be hard to talk me off of Winnipeg for sure. But like 3 of the games feel so cut and dry that you just have this feeling that something stupid's going to happen.
Well, I mean, again, like on paper,
and I mean, Hamilton, it could just be Hamilton having just taken a dump again, right?
Right. I mean,
that could be the extent of it, right?
I mean, that's the thing on paper. But look, on paper, Hamilton looked really bad last week, right? Again, 40-3. At best, this is like, I think, at best, this is 40-27, right? Let's say they convert all the missed opportunities, right? But they still don't stop Winnipeg, which is probable because they were hot in that game. But the other thing too is Calgary has been getting their butts whooped. They're 0-4 in the last. Look, at very least, Calgary is going to be that team that backs into the playoffs, right? If Edmonton makes it, they certainly haven't backed in, right? They're on a roll, right? They're hot.
Yep.
Winnipeg makes it. They've been playing up and down 500 ball ultimately all year. So, they're not really backing in. But if Calgary, even if they win a game or two here, they're still backing in. They've lost 4 in a row. So you're looking at 2 losing teams right now. So who do you go with? Well, you go with the team that scores a lot more points, Hamilton. Right. So I'm not too worried about that. I mean, on paper, that's a close game, but that's the only questionable one. I don't know. You're just looking at these teams. Well, okay, Winnipeg, Edmonton, yeah. Again, if Collaros is on the field in the fourth quarter, okay, Winnipeg will win. That's one of those live betting games, right? As long as Collaros is there, because Edmonton can't can't close these games out, right? They still can't. They avoided the train wreck the last time they played, but Nah. I don't believe it. Okay. All right. I think that should about do it. Oh, no, wait. That should not do it. Okay. So let's say that the favorites come out. Right? The wacky thing happens and nothing wacky happens. Right? Okay. So that would mean that, so it's basically like Hamilton clinches 1, Montreal clinches 2.
Saskatchewan clinches 1 out west.
Right. And Saskatchewan.
BC Winnipeg is now number 2 out west because they have the tiebreaker over BC, and Calgary is now number 4.
Right.
If it lays out the way it is. And then the only question then, are really, the only true questions at that point then are: does Edmonton catch Calgary?
Okay.
Does Calgary wake up in time to catch either a BC or Winnipeg team that might stumble? Or does BC or does Saskatchewan mess with Winnipeg and BC enough to change the order between Winnipeg and BC?
Wow. Well, I don't know. I think BC's going
Because your 2 through 4 out west are not going to be locked in by the end of this week for sure.
Oh no. Oh no. No. You might not even eliminate the possibilities of Edmonton.
You might not eliminate you might not eliminate Edmonton.
Right.
Calgary and Winnipeg are both in danger.
Right.
Like we could get crazy and have like Edmonton catch both of them.
Oh yeah.
Like Calgary and Winnipeg both crash to the earth. That's in play.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, again, right now, I'm getting stoked for Calgary in fourth. Although it would be awesome to see Winnipeg make it. It would be awesome to see Winnipeg. I mean, Winnipeg. It would be awesome to see Edmonton make it. It really, really would. Even as a Montreal guy, as just a CFL fan, it would be great. I mean, even if you want to play the emotional angle, the death of the ownership who really seemed to be, turning around this franchise or had visions of turning around this franchise. Even if you throw that in there, it would be nice. That would be a great story. That'd be a great story. They actually turn this around. But then the sports movie would end with Cody winning in Montreal, right? Where they had given up on him. Right. So I don't like that aspect, but I can't see it.
I'll sign for that as long as he keeps going and beats Saskatchewan in the Grey Cup too.
No, because see, again, the sports movie almost never ends with the championship, right? The biggest game is always on the way to the championship, right? Now, not always. Hoosiers.
But let's finish this. If we're going to finish the story, let's finish the story, all right? Let's not make us wait another year.
So, happy ending.
Yes.
Okay, so would it be the Riders in the Grey Cup? Okay, so you're making the movie, right? And okay, so the dream
scenario, it'd be Edmonton would be fourth.
Not Winnipeg?
Crossover. Edmonton would be fourth. Crossover beat Montreal.
Right.
Beat Hamilton because they're in the way. And then Saskatchewan's the last one, and that's where his career really took off. That's the team that dumped him first.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Oh
my
God.
That's not the Hollywood ending I was hoping for this year, obviously, but I mean it is a Hollywood ending, right?
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. See, you could have the Vernon Adams story too, but it hasn't been lately. He hasn't been on that because Vernon, you could have Vernon crossing over. Like, nobody gives Calgary
or you could have, or Calgary could get their stuff together, finish third, beat BC, beat Saskatchewan, because they had them too. Beat Montreal in the Grey Cup. Or Hamilton, for that matter.
Wow.
You could have that story too.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Calgary versus Hamilton. Yeah. Bo.
Like we've
Bo
seen
versus his old team. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too, right?
So
or Winnipeg could win at home, just like I've been hoping for like the last 3 years, ever since they announced the thing.
Mm-hmm. Or things could just be straightforward, Joe, and we could have the Rouge, White, and Blue Bowl Part 2.
Winnipeg, or we could do that.
Yeah, Winnipeg.
Or we could have a horror flick and put Saskatchewan in the Grey Cup and win it in Winnipeg. I kid. I mean, if they get there, they earn it.
I mean, honestly,
I'm just kidding from a place of love and sports hatred, right?
Again, you are being a little catty this evening, Joe. Okay. So, but here's the thing. I was thinking about this today. Like, I can well imagine myself in the week before the Grey Cup on this show picking the Riders to win based on the fact that, look, I had them at the beginning of the season For much of this season, they've looked like the best team in the league. There was a little while when Calgary looked like the best team, but for most of the season, they've looked like the best team in the league. And so it wouldn't be surprising if ho-hum, the Riders did win it. Again, the only thing surprising about that would be that nothing surprising happens. But I can easily imagine that world. But that's the thing. It's like I said last week. Just because you can imagine the narrative doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. But we have lots of Hollywood.
Lots of stories to tell yet.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Lots of, I mean, from the perspective of the Rouge, White, and Blue, it wouldn't be the worst thing if the Riders won the Grey Cup, because that's another team that we have not seen win the Grey Cup. And in fact, they haven't won it in a long time, since they beat Montreal, in fact. And Anthony Calvillo.
No, Hamilton.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's right. That's
2013.
right. That's right. Okay. Right.
That was their Hollywood ending, right?
Yeah, after 13.
The last Grey Cup in Taylor Field, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Totally. Good call. All right. So lots of scenarios.
I like the first one better.
What would be the worst? See, there really isn't. Like, any one of these outcomes is a good story.
I mean, BC winning the Grey Cup would be Nathan Rourke, Captain Canada, defending the Canadian game.
Yep.
Like Hamilton, it would be Bo Levi Mitchell, getting back to the top, Team Ted. Montreal, I mean, Montreal doesn't have as much of the storyline as anybody else, but Davis Alexander emerging as a new star. You got a story
Montreal, Joe, could be looking at a scenario where Davis has won his first 12 games.
Yeah.
At some point, Joe, he's going to be going again. Well, if things fall out the way they look like they're falling out, he's going to be going to Hamilton. Right? Or even better, Hamilton's going to be coming to him. And he's going to be defending an 11-0 record. People are going to be comparing him to Bo Levi Mitchell. Remember, for a long time, he probably still is, but for a long time, Bo Levi Mitchell was the winningest quarterback in CFL history with a minimum of X number of starts. For a long time, he held that record. He came in this league like Tom Brady in terms of win-loss, right? And now here's Davis Alexander. Davis might have 11 wins in a row by the time he sees Hamilton again. And, that'll be the storyline there. So there you go. That's Montreal's story. How long can
two old
Davis
West
keep his
slingers, the young guy and the old guy, right?
Yeah. The old Bo versus the new Bo.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, anywhere you look, there's a storyline this year for the playoffs. It's
really nice. Really nice.
Honestly, it's kind of nice to have Toronto out of the way for it, because some of their storylines would spin negative, right?
Although, yeah. Although defending champs getting eliminated is quite a story. It's the Grey Cup winner's story for everybody except for Winnipeg. In recent years, is you win the Grey Cup, you get picked apart, and that's what happened to Toronto. It is picked apart. Grey Cup champions. So lots of, even if things end up predictably this week, still have lots of interesting storylines to follow the rest of the way. I think we're going to wrap it there. Now I think we're done. So let's get out of here. For the Rouge, White, and Blue, a Shotgun Sports Network production, I'm Oz Davis. For my co-host Joe Pritchard, we are out of here. Enjoy week 18.
One of those.
The plot thickens in 2 more weeks until the playoffs. The plot thickens.